Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to give you guys a bit of a breakdown on the craziness that is Hakkar Druid. So, we all thought Hakkar was an absolute joke and all that, but it's actually not quite so. It is a particularly potent druid. We've talked about like Malygos Druid in the past. We talked about like Azleen, the Togwaggle Druid, and those decks have been very good and very consistent. The problem with the Malygos version is your opponent has over 40 health. That's unlikely, but it can happen. The problem with the Togwaggle Druid is, it just sometimes doesn't work out so well because your opponent might have like a powerful Death Knight in play, so you don't get to counterbalance that aspect of the game at all. But it's pretty good. Very good decks, no less. The thing with Hakkar is it can do nuts damage. In the clips you're about to see, it's kind of like the teaser to the potential that it can do. It's just, the opponents run out of life, so I can't do even more damage to them. But if they had it, in one case, if my opponent would have had 600 health, I still would have killed him. So how does it work? How is Hakkar so nuts? The way that the blood works, as I've demonstrated in a few videos in the past, is so you draw the number of bloods that you have in your deck, then your card. It doesn't infinitely do damage as some of us thought it might. It doesn't do that. But you have one blood. When you draw the blood, you have two bloods. Then you have 4, and then you'll have 8. And then you'll have 16 bloods, and each one does 3 damage, right? So it stacks up really quickly. It's very difficult to survive the fatigue game when you have any kind of bloods in your deck. And that's kind of the idea here. If you want to try the deck list, the deck link is below, but I've played a few different versions, and the basic combo is you draw your whole deck, you play Hakkar, you activate a refreshed mana pool with a Twig, and then you play Togwaggle to switch the decks, and then you naturalize Hakkar. The cards are drawn before Hakkar dies, so those don't count towards bloods. And then you naturalize whatever else you want. You can naturalize Togwaggle, and then your opponent, gets 2 from that, and then it does the blood damage. I believe that combo is 27 damage, and it does the trick against most decks. But don't worry, I promised you thousands of damage. So how can you do more than that? The beauty about Hakkar is each time there is a new draw with a filled, corrupted blood deck, it doubles the damage of the next draw. So it's really easy to go from 30 damage to 1,000, because you go from 30 to 60, 120, 240, 500, 1,000. There you go, you're done. You just need 5 more draws and you're there. And it's really not that hard to do that, and there's some very interesting tips on this deck that I've learned over a night of playing it. I love this mechanic. I feel like this is a genius card, and I'll go over that in a second. So, how do you do much more than that? So, one way to do it is to kill Hakkar before you swap the decks. So if you have Hakkar in play and he dies to something else, it is vulnerable to silence that way. But again, some decks don't run silence, like No Hunter runs silence, for example. So you get Hakkar killed, and then once you have the bloods in the deck, then you switch the decks and naturalize, and you get 5 Hakkar recycles. You get 2 from the first naturalize, 2 more from the second naturalize, and 1 from your opponent's card draw. And that is an insane amount of damage, but it's not quite 1,000. So how do we get north of 4 digits? And this is really the part that I love. The way you get above that is by drawing cards from your own deck and starting the chain of blood corruptions before you switch the decks. And one very easy way to do that is Wild Growth. So if you use Wild Growth on 10 mana, it does nothing except it gives you a card. It's like empty mana crystal. It's 0 and it draws a card. So now your combo becomes, you have a blood-filled deck. Let's say you have 1 blood. Before you switch the decks, you draw a card for 0, doubling the amount of bloods in the deck. Or maybe you have 2 Wild Growth. Maybe you can do that twice. Maybe Hakkar has died throughout the game, and you still have the Twig combo at the very end. Maybe you can draw with like Nourish or something, then some Wild Growth, then refresh your mana, then switch the decks. And when you start the switch, let's say he has like 12 Bloods in his deck. I mean, you're Druid, you have the armor, you can take the damage, and at that point you do the double Naturalize. The damage just goes absolutely through the roof, and the number of cards required for this combo is actually lower than any other version of Combo Druid. So overall, it's very easy to get to the late game compared to the other Druid decks out there. So basically, this deck is actually pretty good. It's going to surprise some of you guys. You know, we thought of naming like this... We thought we'd name this video like Hakkar Druid is top tier, but we know that you think that would be clickbait. But actually, it wouldn't be clickbait. The deck is actually really good, and it's capable of such crazy things. But there is a little bit of a counter, and okay. So some of you guys that are not Skipparino fans, you've made it to this point of the video. I need you guys to keep a little bit of a secret. The reason this deck might not be like the best deck in the game is because the counterplay is particularly hilarious. So, this combo doesn't work if your opponent has exactly 9 cards in hand. Because if you have a full hand and Bloods are drawn, they get discarded and they don't do damage. So, if they have exactly 9 cards, when you play Togwaggle, they get the Ransom to switch the decks back, and then they take no damage from Bloods, and then when it's their next turn, they just switch the decks back, right? So if they have 10 cards, they don't get the Togwaggle Ransom, so they're just stuck with a corrupted fill deck. They're screwed at that point. That's fine. If they have 10 cards, they're dead. If they have 8 or less cards, they're dead. If they have exactly 9 cards, and they're smart enough to never change that hand count ever, you actually can't win. But okay, we'll just keep that. That'll be our own little secret here. For now, enjoy the crazy highlights and my learning experience with Hakkar, and I think this is just the very beginning of what you'll see from Hakkar on ladder. See you guys.
I think there's enough draw. Malfurion is probably going to help a lot against Hunter, though. This won't work. You can't count on Twig. I don't need to count on Twig. I can just play Hakkar and have it die. Hakkar has to get silenced and Twig has to get killed for this to fail. I mean, the combination of that is not that likely, so I think it's alright. Floop is more consistent. What makes Floop more consistent? I'd like it if I got some card draw, because I don't really want to ramp with the Nourish. Hakkar, Shutterwalk, Undertaker sounds so bad, but at the same time, so good. 1v1 slow meme decks. I think that's just going to be too painful for everyone.
The circle of life is over.
Okay. Is that a problem? Doesn't seem like that much of a problem. Not a problem confirmed. I think I'd like to just kill that. Got the big boy. Russian, no. Shuffle Elec when you play Soul Flare, multiple copies, and switch with Togwaggle. No, the copies are independent. It's better to just force to draw more. I don't know how you do that. Isn't there like draw a card at the end of turn or something like that?
I let the dogs out.
I don't have any other draw though. Banshee to mill the bloods. That's something. I love this deck. So much card draw.
Spirit of the flame.
What?
Them to ash.
Already? This shit was not supposed to happen yet. This is too early. Alright, we gotta hurry our ass up right now.
Light and rot.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay. Yeah, the UIs being at the bottom slowed this a lot. I should be alright though.
You dare challenge the Lord of the Hunt?
What the fuck? Okay.
Essence. Sweet essence.
Okay. I'm gonna stay alive a little longer.
I let the dogs out.
That's gonna hurt. Okay. I'll take 3 fatigue damage. I don't think I'll die. So this is the play.
I'm out of cards. Lost her land.
Actually, if Rag hits me, I think I'll die.
To my side.
Oh, we won. I can attack that. 100%. Okay. I'm gonna let you keep your precious gonk. Oh, wait, what?
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Hakkar has to die beforehand?
Almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Oh.
Ambrosia.
about that?
Almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Good enough. Worked anyways. So how much damage is that then? He draws 3 cards. So it's 3, 6, 12, 21. And then he takes fatigue also 3 times. 1, 2, 3 is 27.
Death is eternal. My turn is not.
Just pass. I think I've lost. I think I can't do enough burst. And he's burning cards, so it's going to be really difficult to use Togwaggle properly.
I'm out of cards.
This play is absolutely ridiculous, but it's gonna work, I think. I'm going to have to do like 30 damage to myself using UI. And then I'm gonna have to give him my deck, then naturalize it. Okay, here we go. So I have to kill it first of all. So we're gonna kill it.
I'm out of cards. I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards. Light and rot. Death is eternal. My turn is not. Staggering. I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards. Staggering.
I think that's lethal.
Staggering. I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Uh-oh. Oh, yes. Draw for the turn. There we go. How about that, boys? How about that lethal? That was an A-OK lethal. Self-lethal into mega-lethal. Oh, this ain't over. I filled my deck with bloods, took a bunch of damage, then gave it to him, and then made him draw all the extra bloods extra times.
Out of cards. I'm out of cards.
It's a game. I kind of put some perspective on it. I'm gonna do it that way. It's gonna be awesome. I still need the twig though. No, I don't. I can just slam Hakkar. Yeah, easy Hakkar slam here. Oh, I have draw with that. Mostly just want to empty my hand. I'm gonna kill him with a car, so that's fine. I need the naturalizes. Yeah, I guess I need the cards. Kill him by just armoring up. Okay. I guess if I never draw Togwaggle, I will eventually die. Seriously. No, I have to draw it. I'm gonna take 12, but then he's going to take some unknown mythical value, so it's fine. New deck with only one new card? No. What do you mean one new card? It currently has 6 new cards. And it will soon have, I don't know, a fucking lot, dude. Like, a fucking lot. What? Only one? Ugh, man. I never get to overkill. So it'll go from 6 to 12 to 24. That's 24 new cards. In fact, this deck has more new cards than any other Rastakhan deck in the game. $12 times 3 is taking 40, but that's just from the first one. The second one would hit him for 300. Seriously, because a double and then a double again. It'll be 40 and be like 100, and then it'll be like 200. This naturalize would hit him for 300, and then his draw would hit him for 600.
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
I think this deck is, like, after learning how it actually works, I think this deck is better than any other combo druid in the game.
I'm out of cards.
But he can't blood me right now.
I'm almost out of cards.
Your soul is in my hands.
Yeah, but you're dead.
I'm out of cards.
Oh, no, maybe not. Ah! Not 9 cards anymore. Game over, boys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this learning experience. The combo doesn't work with 9 cards in hand. I guess he didn't know that. It's okay, we will correct him.
For the wild. I'm out of cards.
Wild Growth OTK combo.
I'm out of cards. cards.
We be taking this now. His kobold ways.
Now he has the 4 stack.
Job done.
How much health does he have? 53. I believe that'll do the trick.
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Hakkar meta, boys.
Out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Never 9 cards, not even once, guys. Don't do it. He's very dead. He probably Azaleena'd my hand and he's like, what the hell is this?
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
We just hit him for 93 damage. One naturalized. Don't even need 2, man. You gotta get those mechanics.